another edition. Issues with JIDE. Here we talk about actions and inactions of those who shape our political and national landscape and how these impact us positively or otherwise. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Today on the show, big crisis rocks Labour Party. Ajaero's NLC plots hijack. Also, Nnamdi Kanu explodes in court, says free men achieve peace in Southeast. In the course of the program, we take your questions, but first, subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop your questions in the comment section. It's important to mention that we can only read comments with human names and the ones based on the subject matter. I have joining me Vazum, the master himself, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju. It's good to see you again, PKO.
Good to do this with you, Brian. Good evening to our esteemed viewers.
Now let's get into the matter. The Labour Party and the Nigeria Labour Congress are locked in a battle of ownership, which has got many Nigerians wondering as to why a pressure group and a political party, which promised to be different from others, is now dancing in the open with its chairman, Julius Abure, accused of carrying moral leprosy and should be avoided, according to the NLC. First off, what's the nexus between Labour Party and the NLC, and help us understand the issues at hand?
The Nigerian Labour Congress gave birth to the Labour Party. According to them, they did that to enable workers to be able to take part in the electoral contest. Such categories of workers who do not have the funds to contest in the big parties, because the expression of interest and nomination forms are usually costly. As far as they are concerned, they form the party so that ordinary people can be able to contest elections in our country. But you and I know that for years, the Labour Party opened its doors to big-time politicians who used it to feather their nests, who used it to attain political and national leadership. Labour Party produced governors in the past. Labour Party even got factionalized because the politicians who see it as a special purpose vehicle through which they can gain political power always literally invade the Labour Party every electoral season to use it to contest elections. Some of them, when they lose the primaries of the big parties, they switch to the Labour Party and use it to contest. So the NLC leaders who today are saying that Abure has ignored the ideology behind the formation of the Labour Party conveniently forgot that for years they didn't really care when the mimicos of this world and other politicians whom you cannot describe as ordinary people because of the means at their disposal were using the Labour Party to feather their nest to achieve their aims. Today, we have a politically exposed NLC president, and he wants to take control of the party. He and members of the political wing of the Labour Party, of the NLC, are determined to use the party at this time to achieve political aims. They are tired of watching politicians hijack the party and use it as a ladder to attain political power. You can bet that if Peter Obi had contested for the primaries of the presidential primaries of the PDP, he would not have secured the ticket. But in the Labour Party, he didn't have competition, the real sense of the word. So what Ajaero and co want to do is to simply take control of the Labour Party. As far as they are concerned, Abure has been running the party to the exclusion of the founding fathers, to the exclusion of other big stakeholders. So they just want to find a way to hijack the party, take control of it. But I can tell you the methods being used are crude. The methods being used are wrong. Because once you form a political party and you submit the constitution of the political party to the INEC, it becomes it becomes the property of the public. So people outside of the Labour family are free to join the Labour Party. The NLC can no longer go around believing that the party belongs to it. If it wants to hijack the party, it should follow the constitution. It should not try to use force to push Abure and co out of office. Picketing the headquarters of a political party and its branches in the states is not the way to go. Labour has to mobilize and go to the convention of the party to impeach Abure. They have to use legal means to kick Abure out of office. The methods that they are using now are wrong, they are unacceptable, and they will not stand they can't stand legal scrutiny. If Abure were to go to court, there's no way that he will not win. If you push him out of office in the manner that Ajaero and his people are doing, he will go to court and argue the point that he was not removed in line with the dictates of the constitution of the party. So this is the thing. I know that there have been all kinds of issues about Abure. It's in court for forgery. The police have arrested him a number of times, but that is what it is. Talking about how he could be pushed out of office, how he could be removed out of office. The neck of the party is the strongest, is the most powerful organ of the party. The neck can pass a vote of no confidence in him. The neck can remove him office. Ajaero and co must use the law to push Abure out of office. I know that many people are tired of him because when the NLC leadership claimed that he's been guilty of extortionist tendencies and selling a nomination form for the Edo governorship primary for as high as 30 million. I then asked the question, what did we see during the electioneering season of 2023? Of course, Labour Party sold nomination forms at a price that the ordinary Nigerian worker cannot afford. So it's not as if this has just begun, but I could see clearly that the agenda of NLC is to take control of the party. They are asking now for an interim leadership of the party to be put in place until such a time when a convention of the party can, when a legal convention can be organized, which will bring in a new leadership. Ajaero will be happy to see his own person become the chairman of Labour. Today, they see these guys as impostors, as opportunists who just came to the Labour Party to make money. And Abure has been accused of corruption, of forgery, of fraud. And we all remember that a certain Okpara, one of the ESCO members of the party, accused Abure of corruption to the tune of 3.5 billion. And he said, okay, let him account. She said, let him account for 3.5 billion. It's similar to what goes on in the APC. Some leaders of the APC, including the former chairman and the national secretary, were sent packing over similar allegations that money accruing from the sale of forms have not been properly accounted for. So, in the real sense of the word, Labour Party, the way it is currently, is not radically different to other Nigerian political parties, because some of the people who contested using the platform of Labour Party were people who had been in the PDP, who had been in the APC for years. Some of them had been moving around the political parties for more than 20 years. So it's not as if this is a brand new party with a new breed of politicians.
That's right.
Anybody who thinks that the Labour Party is made up of a new breed of politicians, brand new politicians, and that is a party that will do things differently is a deluded person. Because we have seen, even with what happened in the National Assembly, when the issue of SUVs came up, the Labour Party members said, look, we are going to take it. Members of the Labour and the National Assembly said, if they supply us with those vehicles, we are going to take it because the vehicles are meant to help our work. Whereas Abure, the national chairman, and others were raving and saying that, look, it makes no sense for people to collect these SUVs at a time when Nigerians are starving and all that.
Right, because
I don't like listening to delusional people, but this is what it is. Yes, Abure has cases to answer.
that's right.
His level of honesty is suspect. But the point that I'm making is Ajaero and others must not use extra legal means to kick him out of office.
Yeah, quickly. But with what's with Messrs. Abure and Ajaero? Abure, just like you've said, on one hand, is being accused of running the party as a one-man business, among other allegations. Ditto, Joe Ajaero is also being accused of using the NLC towards his personal ambition to become, to run for president and to also destabilize the country through strike actions and all. At this time, doesn't it look like they are already disappointing the Nigerian people, especially the obedience who saw the party as the El Dorado they're looking for?
That is the point that I'm making. Investing your hope in the party and deceiving yourself that it is a brand new collection of politicians is extremely delusional. There is nothing to suggest that the Labour Party is different to other parties. No, there's no such. There's no reason to believe so, because as I said earlier, many of them had been in this political space for more than 20 years. They had been moving from one party to another. I have a friend who had been in PDP for years and today is in the National Assembly on the platform of Labour Party. So for many people, they just saw a need to use the Labour Party to advance their cause, to make political positions. And That's where it ends. There is no reason to believe that the Labour Party is different to others. When it comes to ideology, Nigerian political parties are ideologically fluid. It is in Nigeria that you see a thorough conservative parading himself as a progressive and being in a party that prides itself as being progressive. The APC, for example, is full of both conservative and progressive elements. So it's difficult to say that the APC is a progressive party. It's just a political party that has taken in people of different tendencies. That is the way it is. Our politics is by nature not ideologically oriented. This is my view.
That's right, Mikhail. Interesting view. Banji Okoseto says PBAT, that's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was right when he asked Joe Ajaero to wait till 2027. Marvin Odita says Peter Obi is a super tanker of the Nigerian youths that are enlightened and hardworking, who are tired of seeing their future taken away by dubious politicians. Labour Party is nothing without him. Nelson Adefe Samuel says, BKO, Joe Ajaero, we all should condemn in totality the position of Ajaero. Being the president of the NLC should be concerned only with the Nigerian labours, that is the workers, and not Labour Party. Labour Party is a public property.
Yeah.
Victor Patrick says, with the way things are going with the NLC today, Ajaero will conduct 1 billion protests before 4 years. The rascality is shocking. But then we need to change tact by going to other topics, or topic rather, which has to do with the Nnamdi Kanu. For the first time since his arraignment in 2021, addressed the open court, accusing the DSS of experimenting with him by giving him medication that is not meant for his condition. His appeal to be taken to Kuje Correctional Facility was also denied by the court. This is as it boasted that it would resolve the Southeast crisis in 2 minutes if he was released. How sound do you consider Kanu's boastful assertion?
Well, I want to believe that Kanu is speaking like somebody who wants peace. You will see clearly that he picked his words carefully. He refused to say those things that will energize those who want to see Nigeria dismembered. In fact, I was shocked when he said, and I quote, let me see, where he said, anybody conducting any form of violence or subversion in the name of Biafra is not part of our family. He's a criminal. Take note of the word subversion. Kanu is in court today, largely because of his alleged subversive activities. But I listened to him at least 4 times. I listened to that video in which he said anybody conducting any form of violence and subversion, which means that at this point, Nnamdi Kanu is interested in peace. And that's why I've always demanded that we should find a political solution to this matter. Any man who had been in jail for 2 years, to an extent, his heart will have been softened to an extent. I'm not saying significantly. So you can see that it was not difficult for Eze Chukwemeka, for Ifeanyi Uba, the senator, to go and meet Kanu in detention and get him to renounce the seat at home The sit-at-home idea has been destroying the economy of the Southeast. The average Igbo man wants to open his container on a Monday morning. That is the day that some people have taken it upon themselves to say, no, you cannot conduct any form of business in the Southeast. And Kanu, in his own hand, wrote that from that time, sit-at-home had become abolished in the Southeast. So for him to have agreed to do that shows that, look, his position is being softened. He is interested in peace. He doesn't want to see his people being killed. Many people in the past had wondered why we will continue to have the sit-at-home. And they said that, look, Nnamdi Kanu, your desire is to emancipate your people, not to kill them. So they've convinced him, and you can see the way he's talking now. He said, we have come to save our people, not to enslave them. If I'm outside, no idiots can try this rubbish. They know me very well. If I'm outside, in 2 minutes, this nonsense will stop. Who is the idiot that I will give an order in the Southeast and we contravene it? Who is the bastard that will speak when I'm talking? Who is that bastard? Nobody can. I am Nnamdi Kanu. So he's saying that, look, interpretatively, Nnamdi Kanu is saying, free me. If you will free me, I will put an end to this nonsense, this insecurity, this killing of people on Monday, this sit-at-home that did not come from me. Because initially, what IPOB said was that sit-at-home will be only on days when Nnamdi Kanu is brought to court. Now, whether it's brought to court or not, some people have taken it upon themselves to ensure that people can't go out to conduct their businesses. Schools are shut in some parts of the East on Mondays. Some schools have now adjusted to open on Saturdays. So my big takeaway from this is, yes, Nnamdi Kanu has been in detention, but he wants to get out of detention. And he also said, look, if you cannot take me to the prison in Kuje, let me be placed under house arrest. You know? And I will quote him again, say, I'm seeking for a non-custodial arrangement. I don't mind house arrest. Because in this court, I will defeat the federal government. The federal government knows that I'm not guilty. My only guilt is that I am fighting for my people. Anybody using IPOB to commit crime is a criminal. It's not part of our family. Those killing people are criminals. You know? So he's asking for an arrangement that will see him being placed under house arrest so that he can look after his health properly. He said he suffers from congested heart disorder or something. Congested. He first called it congenital, and then he changed it to congested. He changed the word to congested. He said he has lumps under his armpit because the drugs that are being supplied to him are not doing the job. So this is an Nnamdi Kanu that, in my view, is different to the Nnamdi Kanu that was literally kidnapped abducted from Kenya and brought to Nigeria. His stance is changing gradually. This may be an indication to us that he may be ready for peace. Because I'm seeing on an incremental basis that he wants peace.
That's right.
The
Godwin
way
Osato, yeah.
what is said to the traditional ruler is the Chukwemeka Ori of Obugad, the man who gave me the title of Okulu Orandigbo. What is said to him, the commitment that he extracted from him in his own hand, shows clearly that he wants peace. Now, telling the government that the government accusing those killing people in the name of Biafra as subversive elements is something that I find really interesting, because if you told me 3 years ago that Nnamdi Kanu would describe IPOB elements as subversive, I would have argued.
Yeah.
So he said, look, let me come out, I'll fix this problem in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Nobody. It's because I'm outside that it become I'm in detention that these things are happening. Nobody talks when I'm talking. I can put an end to the insecurity in the Southeast.
Right.
He's sending a clear message to the government that, look, if you release me, I will solve the problem of insecurity.
Right.
Now, of course, I know that.
Yeah, sorry to button. Let me take this comment, and then I have a final question to you. Godwin Osato says, Kanu jumped bail and now he's crying foul. No hatred against Igbo. Kanu is the one dragging Igbo to the mud. Nelson Adefe, Kanu doesn't want peace. He's only saying those things like it would resolve Southeast problem in 2 minutes. He should receive judgment that sets him as example. Just Production says, crime against the state cannot go scot-free. He must face the music. Nigerians are waiting for EPA as well. You can't create crisis and expect freedom. And this is where I'm going. Okay, let me take this comment before I take the question. Philade or Philade or something says, he preached and encouraged violence on different social media platforms, online radio, and even in Igbo fora in the USA and Europe. Okay, that's the comment. So the question I have is, Simon Ekpa has taken over the de facto leadership of IPOB, and most importantly, the unknown gunmen. And he appears more brutal than Nnamdi Kanu, as he seems very good at killing the same people he claims to want or to wanting to liberate. Do you think Ekpa would even listen to Kanu if asked to stop his criminality? Bikio, did you get a question?
Well, I don't think Simon Ekpa compares to Nnamdi Kanu in terms of respect, in terms of popularity. He has only exploited the absence of Nnamdi Kanu. This is the feeling that I have. I don't think it commands the kind of popularity that Nnamdi Kanu commands. And that Nnamdi Kanu has gone to jail has also harmed him, especially the fact that he won a case before now, has also harmed him some level of sympathy in the Southeast. So Ekpa is just an opportunist. He's far away from our country, but he's pushing people to their deaths all the way from Finland. I think that if the agitators were to make a choice between the two men, it would be Nnamdi Kanu. To certainly be Nnamdi Kanu, especially even the way he's talking now. You know, saying clearly that we have not come to enslave the people, we have come to save them. You know, so these are rhetorics that people that will sit well with a lot of people, you know. Whereas Ekpa is just after the killing of people and all that, and he's far away, he's safe where he is. So I've always said that, look, it is possible to find a political solution that will ensure that Nnamdi Kanu relinquishes or renounces armed struggle against the Nigerian state, works for the unity of our country, and does not take up arms against our armed forces. It is possible for that to happen. I've seen it happen in other lands where people took up arms against the state, eventually agreed to drop their arms, and they were even accommodated in government. So I still haven't given up that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. And I remember the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, during his campaign, saying clearly that he will be willing to negotiate with the agitators in the southeast. I remember clearly that he said that. And when you talk about the agitators in the southeast, who is the leader of the agitators? It is still Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu has made some mistakes, no doubt about it. But no man is perfect, and man by nature can retrace his steps. If he retraces his steps and stops the needless agitation against Nigeria, the needless desire to dismember our country, definitely he could get the listening ear of the current administration. So this is my feeling, but the decision is up to the president to see whether at this time this kind of move is desirable. Of course, he has to also show clearly that he will not abuse the privilege if he is given freedom. The terms must be in a manner that puts Nigeria in a position of strength. That is what I want to see. If we are to embrace peace with Nnamdi Kanu, then it must be on Nigeria's terms, and Nigeria must be in a position of strength in a manner that ensures that Kanu does not and will not take up arms against our country. Rather, it will even be in the forefront in the moves to keep Nigeria secure and united.
Amazing, fantastic. Let me take Marvin Odita, who says Simon Ekpa has formed his own faction. It's almost the same way Boko Haram had two factions looking for relevance. Tinubu should free Kanu. Tinubu needs GDP to grow across the country and not in few states. But because of our time, BKO, I'm taken aback with the way you speak in favor of, not exactly in favor of Nnamdi Kanu, but then in your words, in your appeal, appealing to the government to one way or the other look at Nnamdi Kanu with eye of kindness and see how they can resolve issues. And this truly, you speaking for, as Okulora Ndibu, speaking for the cause of peace in the southeast. And
but I've been saying this. I've been saying this since 2022.
Yeah, this is,
I've been saying this since 2022.
I find it interesting how consistent you are in this statement of yours, in this advocacy of yours.
Well, I'm a man of peace, and I've seen rebels who decided to drop their arms, and they were embraced. So if we achieve peace, we achieve a political solution in the Kanu matter, it won't be the first time. It won't be the first time. I've seen it happen across the world. Yes, it is terrible to take up arms against your own state, but no sacrifice is too big for us to achieve peace. I'm tired of seeing people being killed in the southeast, and I desire a solution. All those who sit out there say just because do not agree that Peter Obi won the election and say, oh, JIDE hates the Southeast. They need to go back, play back some of what I said on this program, especially. I've always demanded that we can find a political solution to this problem.
That's correct.
And I have not changed. It's difficult for me to change something that I've been saying for years.
That's correct.
This is still my opinion. It doesn't mean that I like Nnamdi Kanu, or I just think that it is possible to achieve peace. And even when people go to war, it often gets resolved on the round table. So
Right.
there's nothing extraordinary about what I've said. It's just up to Kanu to show clearly that this time around he wants peace. And I think I like some of what he said, especially where he denounced subversive activities against the Nigerian nation. That is a signal to me that ultimately he will embrace the peace because it's in his own interest. In this case, he cannot defeat the Nigerian state. If he takes up arms against the Nigerian state, his defeat is sure. So, in his own interest, it's in his best interest to retrace his steps and embrace the land of his birth, rather than seek to dismember Nigeria, because that's a waste of time.
Absolutely. And that's our show for today's edition of Issues with JIDE. Special thanks to you, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju, for those insightful analyses. As always, speak ill.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, viewers. God bless you.
Right. And thanks to you to our audience for keeping our company on every edition. You can see the program again anytime by subscribing to our YouTube channel, TVC News Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button to get the latest information. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at TVC News NG. I'm also at Ibrahim TVC News. On behalf of the rest of the team, I'm Ibrahim Shita. See you again next edition. Bye for now.